the NFL we go. I've got two quarterbacks with me this morning, and so let's do some QB quick reads. Dano, what do the Raiders need to set up Fernando Mendoza for success?
Yeah, I think they need a wide receiver that was similar to some of the players that he had at Indiana last year. Elijah Surratt, Charlie Becker, just the downfield, bigger-bodied, contested catch guys, competitive with the ball. That's one of the things Fernando did really well, was throw those one-on-one throws, whether the go routes, the back shoulders, to allow those guys to gauge that throw and to make a play on the football. I don't believe the Raiders necessarily have that guy right now, even though they signed Jalen Naylor from Minnesota as a free agent. But finding that receiver in those one-on-one situations to go get those opportunity throws, I think that's a good addition.
All right, the transition, especially for a quarterback, we sometimes see many of these first-rounders just jumped in, but they signed Kirk Cousins. How long do you think Mendoza needs to sit with Kirk Cousins there?
As long as possible, honestly. It depends a lot on how the season goes, but Dan's talking about receivers. You're a rookie quarterback in a system that you've never ran. We make a lot about the under the center thing, but he never did it in college, a handful of times at all. There is a big learning curve, and you don't have weapons outside of Brock Bowers to help you out. So you need him to sit and learn and start to develop and get comfortable with the system, because he didn't do it. He didn't do a ton of pure progressions in college. There was a lot of RPOs, a lot of point and shoots. He was outstanding, accurate, poised, but it's a big learning curve, and I want them to have as much patience as possible as they get everything set up around him so he can be successful long term. If he gets thrown into the fire week one, it's going to be rough.
Their plan was always to find a veteran that they could start in case he wasn't ready right away. Going back to the combine, the Raiders were telling teams and potential veteran quarterback additions, we don't plan to start the guy right away. So their hope is that Kirk Cousins can give them whatever they need, and that Fernando Mendoza will face no pressure whatsoever in terms of timetable.
The hope.
Take the whole year if you need. How many times have we seen it?
Exactly.
It doesn't happen.
Exactly.
How many times has it worked? One, right? The Chiefs started 5-0 in 2017 and stayed in first place with Alex Smith the whole time, so they were able to keep Patrick Mahomes on the bench. Otherwise, if you don't win right away, and you're the Raiders, like you're in a division where one team was the 1 seed, the other team made the playoffs, the other team went to the 3 previous Super Bowls. Like it's going to be pretty tough for the Raiders to get out of the gate hot, even if Kirk Cousins is playing well. So I think this is a long-term plan. Take Mendoza tonight, let him have the time he needs to develop, build out the roster around him in the meantime.
Mendoza will not be in Pittsburgh tonight when he hears his name called. He's going to be with his family. Ty Simpson's going to be in Pittsburgh with his family. So the next question is, we do these QB quick reads here. Ty Simpson and the status of the conversation about being a first-round pick. Do you see that, Jordan?
Ty Simpson will be a first-round pick. I think he's going top 20 despite what a lot of people think. We're going to see some movement in the teams that is unexpected, but it is no doubt he has the best tape of anybody, Fernando Mendoza included. I love the fact that he is an elite processor, and in my mind, elite physical traits are a dime a dozen. You can go find guys that can throw it 80 yards and can run 4.5 40s. You can't find guys that can process at an elite level. He was asked to do more pre-snap and post-snap, progression reads and controlling the protection than anybody. He's pro-ready between the ears, the right system and the right fit, and he's going to have a really long, successful career.
Dano, it looked like Jordan ordered cube chicken for you with no salt, the way you were shaking your head. You agree?
We're finally agreeing?
Yeah.
Brother, I got someone on my island. I have a friend on my island. Obviously, I've been on this for a while. I agree. I'll simply say it. If he's not a first-round pick tonight, then we are evaluating in the NFL the quarterback position wrong. We just are. I'll start with this. Number one, Alabama was a bad football team last year. In the context of who Alabama has been, not a very good football team. We're talking about a run game that was 128th in America last year. We're talking about an offensive line that was 110th in America last year. We're talking about a wide receiver group, a tight end group that was 130th in drops last year. This was not a very good football team. And if everybody wants to live in the world where you're not going to draft a kid because he had 15 starts, God bless you. You're allowed to track historical data and lean on that. All I know is the tape says he's no question, at worst, around middle of a first-round draft pick. And if he's not tonight, I'll be the first person to say I was wrong in it. But that means we're not evaluating the quarterback position properly.
What's the reticence then? Because you hear wildly diverging opinions on this. I'm trying to think of who I talked to yesterday who just said there's zero chance
starts.
he should go in the first. It's the starts, Dan?
Is it the size at 6'1"?
Yes.
It's the 15
Yes, sir.
starts and the lack of like a dominant physical trait that could overcome that in teams' minds. If he had elite size, if he had elite, speed, if he had elite arm strength, you could say, 15 starts, but he could become more than that. Again, I'm telling you what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Right? I don't evaluate quarterbacks.
And
this is what I'm being told. But
No doubt.
So if he's not a first-round pick, it's because of the relative inexperience combined with the lack of the big thing that in teams' minds could overcome that.
Here's my problem with the 15 starts, because we compare that to guys like Anthony Richardson, Trey Lance, Mitchell Trubisky as well. Those guys were all drafted with a small body of work because they had rare physical traits, arm strength, athleticism. You're not drafting Ty because he has rare physical traits. I think he has first-round physical traits, but you're drafting him because he's an elite processor. So those guys of the limited starts are in completely two different categories, in my opinion, because he has as much good tape as someone that started 3 years in college. Like, I don't care if it's 15 games. He has 8 games that you flip on the tape and you're like, this is a first-round draft pick anticipating changing velocity and trajectory on the football, changing up things pre-snap. What else do you want?
And that's why Dan O's point is the good one. Are we evaluating quarterbacks incorrectly in the NFL? Mitchell Trubisky shouldn't have been the second pick in the draft. Trey Lance shouldn't have been the third pick in the draft, as it turns out. So I think that's an interesting point.
I've never seen Orlovsky so happy on a program where he's not talking. Look at him. He is so happy. Jordan, he may say send you a bouquet of flowers.
He's been battling on Twitter for months. I get it.
Dude. Here's my thing. At the fundamental part of the position, can you see it and can you throw it? Can you see it and can you throw it? The answer for him is a resounding yes. And I will continuously ask this question. Would you take Baker Mayfield right now as a top 20 quarterback? Would you take Jared Goff as a top 20 quarterback? Would you take Sam Darnold as a top 20 quarterback? The answer is yes. None of those guys have this overwhelming physical trait. Would you take Brock Purdy as a top 20 quarterback? I'm not telling America this guy's the #1 pick. No. What I'm telling you is his tape screams that as long as you are a competent organization with the right people around them, you're going to get top 20 quarterback play, top 15 quarterback play, which you win a lot of football games with.
So who's going to hear those screams tonight? What team is going to hear those screams and actually pull the trigger and take him, particularly if we're talking the top half, the top 20?
Top 20. I don't know who that team is in the top 20. I do know that when he announced he was coming out for the draft this year, it surprised a lot of people. But the chatter around the league was that the Los Angeles Rams had their eye on him. Now, this is back when the Rams still had the 29th pick, which they've since traded to the Chiefs. So the Rams picking at 13, I don't think they're going to take him there. Maybe, do they trade back and maybe take him? They don't have a lot of immediate needs on that roster.
Yeah, and when we talk about the number 20. The Steelers are on the clock at 21. Keep that in mind. And Mike McCarthy has had no problem drafting a quarterback and having him sit going with somebody else in the meantime.